Good day and welcome back to the current review. My name is Tamsan Latu, sometimes known as the TT, sometimes known as the chairman. We are back on this interview panel today. Discussions that we've had, very interesting up to so far, and we're changing the block just a bit. Earlier, we were supposed to have spoken to the provincial chairperson of the ANC Youth League, we were disturbed by network connectivity. And right now, we are being joined by the regional coordinator of the ANC Youth League in the Lijuali-Putswa region of the ANC Youth League. Her name is Bonolo Softy Matlakala, the ANC Youth League Regional Task Team Deputy Coordinator, and not coordinator necessarily. And we'll be talking about the match that they'll be, having as the ANC Youth League, and what this match hopes to achieve. She will talk us, through, the ANC Youth League stance on such issues as service delivery, key demands presented in the memorandum, the conversations or lack thereof with local government leadership. We'll also explore, the community's expectation that, officials like the Premier or the Mayor should be directly involved in addressing the concerns. So yeah, let's hear what the institute has to say. Good day, Ausi Bonolo. Thank you very much for joining us. What do you prefer to be called, Bonolo or Softy Wodumo? Which one is
it? Whatever you prefer, Softy or Dumo, Softy.
Yeah.
Any name is proper.
All right. Thank you very much, man, for your time, and we really appreciate your availability. Can we start by you sharing with us more about the motivation and the goals behind the match and what this match is actually about?
Oh, okay. Thank you, Abditami, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to actually be able to try to give an understanding as to why we are having this match as the ANC Youth League. Well, firstly, the match will be held Kadi 31, so October 2024, 10 a.m. in the morning. The match is basically about, I get a lot of questions that why is the Youth League marching against itself? Because if we are marching to the municipal offices, which are under the government of the ANC, it looks like the ANC Youth League is marching against the ANC. Well, that is not the case. What we are trying to do is to remind our leaders of the promises they have made to the community. And as members of the ANC in our own right, in as much as we are leading structures of the Youth League, we are also members of the ANC. So we had said, why wait until it is opposition that is raising key issues, which we all know are actually true, which we all know are affecting us? Why then wait for opposition to raise their issues? And we can never be sure that it's actually about those service delivery issues. There's always something political behind it. So we are saying, genuinely so, there's someone watching us in the same room. Sorry, genuinely so, we are saying to the leaders of the ANC, our ANC, you have been making promises in this municipality. There are unfinished projects in this municipality that facilitate working provincial government. I think in the memorandum, you can see there are a number of issues that are the unfinished project. There's houses that should be built. There's infrastructure. And the provincial government would then come to us and the community and say, there's money allocated for 1, 2, 3. There's money allocated for 1, 2, 3. Yet we are sitting at a backlog of unfinished projects that were promised by the government, provincial government to be exact. And we know that there's money allocated for those projects. Why is it that they are not materializing? And the problem is that it is us that have to go to the same community, to the same young people, and promise them that everything is going well, when we are not starting by dealing with the backlog that has been created by our officials, our deployees of the ANC. So we are not marching against the ANC, but we are marching against those that are responsible for implementing the promises they have made to the community.
But you see the difference with the other political parties that you mentioned, or other organizations that will be, having a march, uh, and the difference with you is that you guys have an opportunity to sit down on a table with the ANC, either in your Monday meetings or whenever, because I suppose you also sit in the regional executive committee of the ANC Youth League, of the
Yes.
ANC, as the coordinator or as the secretary. So you have an opportunity directly to engage with the ANC and find out what the hell is happening. So what is this march actually about?
No. It does not mean we have not exhausted those other options. For us
So they,
to be where we are, we have tried to exhaust the approach here. Let's talk behind closed doors. Let's talk during meetings of the ANC when deployees are here. We have exhausted that. The round table discussion is no longer working. It takes us back to the real formation of the ANC Youth League, which was to say the ANC was not, the modus operandi of the ANC was not benefiting the young people of that struggle back then in 1944. So we are also saying the modus of operandi of the ANC of discussing things round table and us saying we're protecting the ANC, yet it is us that are suffering in return. It is our families. So let us no longer make this harder than it already is by going back to those meetings, speaking nice English in there. And then everyone goes back to their business. So let's go to the streets. We are young people. We are able to do that. We have the correct energy. If they are tired, they must let us know. Because it's not us that are going to be doing door-to-doors during 2026. The same questions that were asked in 2021.
so
So if
basically,
we don't start,
ha isa utlwana le leadership ya ANC. Le hlolane ditafoleng, jwale se le ya seterateng.
no. Politically, the ANC Youth League is the ANC Youth League of the ANC. Let us
Yes,
not get that wrong.
yes.
But currently, we want accountability, not to say we're fighting. We just want implementation and accountability. We're not
Okay.
saying anyone must vacate office. We are just saying whoever that is in the office, please facilitate the following, because it is promises that have been made and have not been fulfilled. We're not waging a war. We're just trying to implement as the ANC has the best policies, has the best. It's one of the best policy making organizations. But the problem is that our deployees that are given the responsibility, either they're overwhelmed or there's no resources. And it can't be that there's no resources. So we are merely saying to them, go back to the backlog so that when we reach 2026, we're not dealing with the same things we were dealing with during the 2021 local government elections.
So who is the march targeted to? Who's going to be the recipient of the memorandum or the complaints that you guys will be bringing?
We have invited the provincial secretary of the ANC, Comrade Dielele, and the reason why we invited him specifically, if you look at the memorandum, it covers different departments. It covers Department of Health. It covers the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. And then it also speaks of the issues that the municipality would have to respond to. So in us understanding that this march is being led by the ANC Youth League as a political organization, we must then invite the ANC as it is the one that is in charge of the government. So these MECs, sports, all MECs, they account to the ANC. So it is best that we reach out to the ANC to say, please ensure that the people you've deployed in those offices are working, because there's a backlog and you need to deal with it.
So that's why. So the march is against. I mean, using the common language in the townships or wherever we are. When you say there's a march, it's not normally a march against something or against somebody. So now the march is directed to the provincial leadership of the ANC, which then must take decisions to be implemented in government. That's what we are
Yes.
saying.
It
Okay.
must It must put pressure on deployees of the ANC that are in government.
Does your memorandum have names of these deployees of government that must actually do their work?
No. It has departments. We are speaking to departments. We're not speaking to individuals here. We are speaking to departments that will be able to address these issues.
Okay.
So you see, there's different departments at the political level, but our memorandum, it focuses on a few of them, and those are the offices that we are speaking to. It's not really about who is there, but we just want the deployee sent by the ANC in that office to then
Mara,
deliver.
aren't you afraid of the broken telephone? You are sending a messenger to go and speak on your behalf, whereas you have the opportunity to speak directly to implementers of decisions. You could speak to the premier, to the mayor, or to directors even of departments or sub-departments.
Even though the ANC Youth League has access to these leaders and office barriers, the word that holds more weight is that of the ANC,
Okay.
to be honest. So we are on the streets with the numbers that are supposed to be voting you back into that office. And we are telling the ANC to go and talk to their deployees and raise these issues. Because we want to convince these numbers that things are going to be okay. But we can't do that when we are not seeing implementation in the streets. It must be busy here beyond 2026. Now we are still young up to time. We want this thing to last forever. So it seems like people are relaxed.
Now,
It's
tell
very
me,
personal for us.
give us an example of one of the issues you raised in your memorandum that you think you need a resolution to very quickly. That you think if the PS receives this memorandum by next month, this issue will be resolved. An example of those.
It's the most immediate response that we can get. It's regarding the unfinished projects. You see the first part of the memorandum. There's the Shell project. There's houses that there must be infrastructure there. There's a school that has been in the process of getting built for the past 5 years or so. I'm not sure. The contractors are changing every now and again. So they must now come and explain to us what is going to happen. And we must see something happening in there. There's RDP houses. There's a Mabele fuel project. I think ethanol. I don't know if you've heard of it. Ethanol. It's a company that's going to use maize here. It's a very big company. It has the potential to create a lot of jobs. And it was said that there's money allocated because the crisis was investments and all of that. So we would like to know if the process has started or not. And what is the delay for all these projects? Those are the most immediate ones that they can act on immediately.
And how long do you give because I suppose it is also now supposed to be the provincial secretary who's supposed to come back to you and give you a report. In how long?
Yes.
Come back with the report.
We have given them 7 days to respond to the memorandum of demands. And should that not happen, we will then come back to the drawing board and come up with a plan B. But the struggle is not stopping until something is done.
And as far as I know, politicians in government or anywhere don't like marches against them. And you have invited somebody to come to a march who is supposed to be in Bloemfontein, Kisa Sebotelo House. What if they don't come on that day?
No, it means they don't take us serious.
Yeah.
No, it means we're playing.
Mm.
Yeah, no.
And therefore,
I'm saying we'll go back to the table where we discussed this much. There's still plenty of space. There'll be even more numbers then.
And when it comes to sports and recreation, your memorandum mentions a lack of funding and infrastructure. What is
Yes.
What is your vision for addressing this gap there?
What is my?
Your vision, the vision of the ANC League for addressing the gap.
Regarding sports.
Yeah.
We want the municipality we also used to have a sports officer. The sports officer would have a budget allocated. Like the one year, the Youth Development Office, it used to have a budget. It's also part of the memorandum. So now there's no longer a sports officer. There's no longer a budget for the Youth Development Office. So we would like, that's why we also want access to the, you can't live in a municipality and not have the organogram of the structure that you're working in. So we don't know what is there and what is not. And we want to know
This
what is
just for the
available, who's what
Machabeng,
there is.
or many, or is it just for the Machabeng or the Nala or
No, no, no.
the
Now we are speaking Zinatsanala. We'll come
Nala?
to those other municipalities.
Okay, okay. No, no.
Yes.
So,
So,
so, so the youth office does not have a budget, and
yes,
there is no sports officer anymore there.
yes. And
Uh,
it's been going on for quite some time now. So, it would be our plea that at least if those two offices have resources, it's much more easier for the office barriers to be able to move around and have access to certain things. Because you can't run an office with nothing. You are going to get depressed.
does the municipality have an income though to fund those offices?
That is what we want to know. I get it, the municipality gets funds from National Treasury every financial year. How are those funds being divided? And what can be done for these offices to be resourced? It's not asking for much. It's just to say, let's start with this amount and then see how we work around it. We're not saying we want the entire money, institution, but let us have a portion that we can work with and then take it from there every year. It will build with time. The more work they see, the more money they'll invest in it. But it
Would,
requires
would,
someone that
would
is
it,
going to be actually very active.
would it not be easier, Softy, to mainstream youth issues around the entirety of the budget of the municipality than to have a small amount of money dedicated to youth development?
Sports. Well, that is an idea. It could work. We have different spaces when it comes to these things, Sabacha. So nako nngwe we fumana hore wa tsa keng engwe le engwe ka hlahang fela, we'll take it because ke mathata re fihla mo lekeisheneng mona. So yeah, your idea is quite good because now the funds will be centralized and be able to be distributed into different initiatives. So that could work. Thank you.
Also, like there's been a strong emphasis on the LED, Can you
LED,
elaborate on the issues surrounding business hubs,
local economic development offices.
the role of Harmony Mine there, and the need for
Yes.
LED offices?
There's a mine here up to Tamine, Ohlang, that site in Machabeng. So mine no, currently it's at a stage mo ilong of feta ka tlasa Bothaville. So we want to verify that. And once it's verified, we would want them to assist us with certain things because they are working from our land, right? And in towns where they're operating, we see that they're doing good work. So we want that good work. Honale Odindala Mall, honale container hub. It was donated by the mine. Container hub, you can say different containers in one yard. And then young people are applying to get those containers, operate dishisanyama, kambana, different things. So, because we would want such a thing, location in Laon. And since we have just found out there's a mine operating here, no people must account.
It sounds very, very surprising that you have just found out that there is a man operating like
I'm as surprised as you. No, it was, this thing, I think there's someone here with us who told me about it a few years ago. But it was not verified. So all of these things we can't verify. There's too much red tape for us to actually be sure of what is going on. So the ANC must then tell us what is the story with that thing. They have access to the information. They have access to everything. Yet nothing is being confirmed. And if there's something to confirm, then let us benefit from it as young people.
Tell me, what is the relations, or what is the relations between yourselves as a structure of the Youth League and the ANC in the region? Are you guys in good terms?
Yes, very.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm sure you understand what I'm asking.
We have the RTT coordinator and convener who form part of the ANCREC. So we're all in good terms, unless otherwise, but all is
Now,
well.
tell me, like, as the Youth League, what have you seen as opportunities available for economic development of young people, particularly in the area Yako Nalamo?
Well, Nala is an agricultural town. The soil is good. There's plenty of land, and Nala it's strategically placed where there's traffic, where there's people passing by, entering. So if we use this to our advantage, this issue of land and all of that, we would be able to be the producers as young people in the agricultural department. Not wait. I get it. They took our farms. So let's take the land.
Who
Get
took
our
the
farms
land?
are nowhere to be found. You know, Labdita. Our
Uh,
farms are owned there.
okay.
So if we nurture the tradition of farmers, young farmers, we would be able to actually be the people that provide means of production. We would be the entrepreneurs instead of going out there to look for jobs.
But the question I'm asking is, have you actually done an audit to say there's this much land which can be therefore redistributed to this number of young people who can use it for their own benefit?
Part of the memorandum, it's there. I think on the second page, there's the part where we include municipal land. There's issues study lease agreement. There's issues it's a land distribution. And in land distribution, we don't only mean residential land. We
But
mean also land.
are there young people that you know who say that
Yes,
we are able to develop and till the land and farm the land?
yes, a lot. You would be surprised. Here at
Yeah,
home,
yes.
there's chicken, I guess maybe in poultry farmers, there's a lot. There's Ibile, the crisis that Havana Mole, kere wa tseba, dikgomo can't be living ka space sa residence. So they
Yes.
just want land outside on the outskirts of the township to be able to grow because jwale dikgomo dinku di tsamaya hohle mo. There are not
So
even bylaws
what
in
has been the
respect to
challenge,
saying.
therefore, to give them that land?
Mm?
What has been the challenge for land to be made available to these people?
We don't know. We don't have a specific number as to how many. We know there are farms in the municipality, but we don't know the number of farms that we have. We don't know where they are. So part of the demands is that they give us the list, plus they're available. And then we come back to organize ourselves as young people. Not everyone is going to be a farm. So we organize ourselves. We focus on the developed ones, the ones that have been operating before us, and say, do a cooperative where at least it's not one person. 5 of you are going to benefit, plus you are going to create employment. Give us at least this amount of hectares, and then we'll work on it. Come back after a year. If there's nothing being done, take it away, give it to someone else. If there's something being done, the Department of Agriculture must then come and say, how can we assist you? This thing only needs trade, continuity. Something always stops somewhere. And but we collect information. As about benefiting the bona self.
Now, Nala Hospital is also listed in your memorandum as as an area needing attention. What are the specific health issues impacting residents, and what are the NCL's demands in this regard? I'm saying, as regards the hospital, you have
Yeah.
mentioned it as one of the areas that need attention. Ne?
Oh, yes.
So what are the demands in this regard for the ANC Youth League?
I think it's a few weeks ago when this actually started. Nala Hospital is the one that triggered it. There was a communication that was sent. We saw it on Facebook that now there's new tariff paid at a government hospital. Now, when you are referred by a doctor, you pay 300 rands when you get to the hospital. Where have you seen that? Why is it a government hospital if you are going to pay for services? So if if there's a plan behind it, they must bring us along. They must tell us how are you expecting a poor person to get 300? Uzame ya doctor 300, and then you still want her to give you 300 more to stay there. There are issues there about what we have business people here donating food for a government institution that has funds provided to it every year. So what is the issue with that hospital where unless they want to exploit poor people, you can't expect someone to pay money to get free services that are provided by government.
Now, maybe just lastly, what are your expectations following the march? And if these demands are not met, is there a plan for a continued or escalated action?
Since we are going to give the recipients of the memorandum 7 days to respond to us, after the 7th day, it will be KG7 on the 7th of November. We will be sitting down with our steering committee, which has organized this march, and we will then come with a way forward. But we don't have a crisis with toying until old age. This much we can walk around the location until we grow old. But the services that the projects that I had told you about would be an indication that something is going. They are the biggest ones that they should, and kids on but address quickly, because I agree they said there's money allocated. So it means no, we are going to seek funds. They must say, maybe we need a contract. Maybe we need, and in all of that, that is going to happen every time. Young people must benefit. Young people are business people. Young people, banally business, banally great, banally campaign, it's a project. They must be prioritized. No one in the ANC is going to come and say, no, so fitile project ya mamang young people must be prioritized. Young people must benefit from everything it will materialize from this march. It must be us that benefit more than anyone else.
And the mobilization for the march, have you mobilized enough support?
We mobilized, yes. We started preparations last week, and we are expecting a minimum of 500 participants, both from Wesselsbron and Bothaville. But the minimum number that we're expecting is 500.
Okay, and safety concerns?
We have applied for the Section 4. It has been approved. We have our marshals, we have our reflectors, we are sorted. I'm not anticipating any kind of violence because it's a peaceful march with elders, old citizens, young people, very disciplined young people of the ANC Youth League. I agree we were going through BGMs and Zibonagalis, so we have trained them well. Our team is well trained to say we are responsible for everything that is going to happen tomorrow, and we are going to ensure maximum security for all our participants and the broader community.
And does the march have support of the Provincial Executive Committee of the Youth League?
Yes, we have invited Comrade Maibuye Bangani, the provincial secretary. We also invited the provincial chair, Comrade Tsele. They will be available. I know Comrade Maibuye has said he's available, but remember there's another march in Bloemfontein. So I think they're going to, the other one goes there. But we'll check. We'll check later tonight, but we do have the support of the Provincial Executive Committee of the Youth League. And also here at home, we are working with branches of the Women's League and also councillors.
And any last message that you want to give to to our viewers and your supporters out there? for
No,
tomorrow?
thank you very much for giving us your time. And for those that are watching, I hope that we can take example from what the ANC Youth League is trying to do in this sub-region and in this region. If we are not going to protect the ANC as the ANC Youth League, no one is going to do it for us. Even the old ones, they're not going to try as hard as we are going to try, because we know that our futures are a bit longer and possibly brighter should we work hard as young people leading structures of the ANC Youth League. And that is my submission, Dr. Tammy.
Thank you very much, Softiwo Domo Bonolo Matakala. Very much
Thank you.
appreciate your time. We
Thank you
hope
for having me.
everybody is safe tomorrow and that you achieve the objectives that you set to achieve. All the best.
No, thank you very much. Thank you.